Hello, welcome to the second episode of the Unproblematic podcast. We've made it this far, thankfully. Now, from the last one, which at the time of recording we haven't even posted yet, we haven't even got a logo, a proper one made. We've got like ideas, but we haven't made a proper one. But from that first one, we've managed to get some feedback to improve on the second one. And what we've learned is that we need less people. So here we've got only 5 speakers, when the last one we had way too many. We've also decided that we need to cut on the background noise a lot. So the person who made a lot of the background noise isn't even here this time. So that should be good. And also, I'm going to be using normal names when we introduce people, so that it's a little bit less confusing. And we'll just go with normal names, not usernames like last time. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go down my list. I'm going to introduce the people, and then that person, as soon as I've said their name, they're going to introduce themselves or say something about themselves, just so you get a feel. And this is only a one-time thing as well. So the first person I'm joined with is Richard.
Hello
say something
there.
about yourself.
Retarded eye candy here. Yes.
Good enough. All right. We've got Sauna.
Yellow. I'm from a country with intense moral turmoil currently, and I'm a very strong atheist, so that can be, a fun idea to explore in the future.
Okay. The next person we've got is EK.
Yeah, that's me. You know me as EK or Elijah. Obviously I respect everyone's opinions and stuff. And yeah, try keep the peace and a few things, you know what I'm saying? And yeah.
Yeah, he's the peacekeeper. The next person we've got is Sarah Brodge.
Hello, I'm Freddie Mercury. I'm Sarah Brodge Burke. Yeah, I look like Freddie Mercury. But I am not gay.
He's also vegan, by the way.
Yeah, that's...
Please, I'm vegetarian. Please be sick.
All right, cool. You got me. I forgot to introduce myself last time, which is kind of important. I'm Ibrahim.
Poor host.
Yeah, I'm Ibrahim. I'm the host. I have to do all the work to get everyone together. So, and let me tell you, it's like herding sheep. It's not easy. And finally, this person isn't going to talk, but it's Anil. He's a recorder, editor guy. He's important. He's like the backbone of the show. So he's not going to say anything, but he's a good guy. So he's also
an idiot. He's an idiot. That's what he is.
Congratulations, well done. I mean, he can't say anything about himself, but I've already given him a little backstory. So yeah, we talked about the harsh criticism with the less people and the thing, but also what we're going to start doing from now on is our music man, Sarah Brodge, is going to start playing a little bit of music at the end. And if you want, you could try and guess what it is at the end once we start uploading these.
Probably won't guess it. They're all these modern generation people. Tell you, they'll never guess.
Nice. Insult our audience. That's the way to go forward.
Yeah, so you'll start seeing traits between us. That Sauna's like the smart guy. He's like the debate man. And Freddie Mercury is like the guy who talks about sex all the time.
And dumbass.
And Delta's the new village idiot because Sammy's not here anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true. Actually, Richard steps in.
Richard took. Richard was there.
I am the better version of Sammy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we get to the meat and potatoes of this, I want to ask you lot, how are you feeling about the podcast so far? Like, what's your opinions on it? Because for me, recording this is the most fun thing of the week because obviously quarantine, and I think we really will go far with this. So what do you lot think?
I think.
You think it's stupid? Well, I think it's an interesting. Finally, we're actually taking initiative and doing something quite interesting and basically exploring new ideas. It's basically, there's not much else to it. It's something fun to do during a really horrible time right now. So,
Yeah, especially since if you knew us personally, we're the laziest people ever. We'd never get together and do something like this properly.
Speak for yourself, mate, all right?
Yeah.
Most of us, the majority of us, all right? The majority. So yeah, because we're having such a great time, I thought what would be greater than to get everyone to hate us by talking about controversial stuff, such as racism. And before people click off, we all know racism bad. Yeah, all that stuff. We're not talking about that kind of stuff. Racism bad. Like, that's been talked to death a million times. We're actually going to be talking about the overuse of racism more than that. So don't get bored and click off just yet, because we're going to be going a bit more controversial. And these opinions, obviously, we're not racist. Trust. Like we've got a black guy right here. We've got several Asians
That
guys,
doesn't
and we've
prove
got a
anything.
white guy
Yeah, nice
in the
way
call
to
right now.
nice way to just clear that up with him.
No, they
The
don't
thing
know
is-
who it is. They don't know who it is. They don't know who
I
it
know,
is.
but the
Could
thing
be
is,
any of
the
us. I
fact
could be the black guy. They don't know.
the fact that you just said that though is actually a component of this discussion. So like,
Yeah, no, I have to mention it because like the general.
yeah, I know,
public-
but the fact that you had to say there is a black guy here when talking about racism
that's what I have to talk about as well. You're right.
That is-
You've already jumped in.
What
You've
Oh
already
my
keep talking
gosh.
about the Asians?
So
right.
let's start. Should we start with the first topic, or do you guys have anything general to say to get us warmed up?
Nah, let's just start with the first topic.
Let's
I think.
start with the first one.
Yes.
All right. The
Yeah.
first word we're talking. Well, the first thing we're talking about is the evil, the word that strikes fear into the hearts of everyone. The N word,
Including me.
including everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
The N, apart from black people, I guess the N word isn't that scary for them.
I
Because
think
they don't die if they
Richard
say it.
Richard should share his views first, actually, because I want to hear them.
I mean, honestly,
yeah.
just having a word specifically that one race can say is racism as itself.
It's gatekeeping.
Encouraging one word that only one race can say, that in itself is racism and discrimination, and I believe that should not work.
Yeah.
And no, it's not because I want to say the word before anyone gets that idea. Nah.
Yeah,
I
no, we're
just
all
want-
heavily just
I
want to
just
say
want
the
no
words.
one to use it, honestly. No one, not even black people themselves.
Yeah, that's a
it's,
better way for it.
it's themed to be a derogatory term, and the fact they use it, I've heard people use it in everyday life. It's nah, that's not how it's meant to be used.
Yeah, it's
I
just
would like
it's
to
really
say-
funny because you use it to say hello, and it's supposed to
Yeah,
have such a
it's-
bad meaning.
Yeah.
It's either allow everyone to say it or don't allow anyone to say it. For me, honestly.
Yeah,
What do you think, Sir Raj?
Honestly, if you think about it, they are worse words than the N word. Like, the C word is a lot worse than the N word. The F word is a lot worse than the N word.
Oh, a lot of people would disagree with that. Though.
yeah. No, I don't agree.
Yeah,
with
no,
that.
yeah.
Scientifically,
To be
Agree.
fair, if you use the C word
Scientifically, a word.
if you use the C word in any media production, then it will immediately give it the 18 rating.
Or it gets
Even if it's
cancelled.
like a kids show, it will give it the 18 rating.
I saw,
Yeah,
I
I
saw,
highly
I
doubt
saw
they'll use
Creed.
it.
Whoa, go on.
No, I disagree with that. I saw Creed, and that film is a 12-rated film, and he uses this as
Well,
N word.
that was a quote
Um,
taken from my teacher, dude. So
But I actually agree.
Yeah, he doesn't mean
I
that.
understand what Sir Raj is saying here because there is a stig. Well, when it comes to swear words, there's a stigma attached to it that you don't get with the N word if a black person says it in a film.
There's
you know
another
what I
film
mean?
as well. Yeah, but
See,
there's
the
also
thing
another
is-
film
Hmm.
as well.
No.
There's a film called The Longest Yard, and the white person says the N word, and that film is rated 12 as well, and he uses
Whoa.
it like 3 times as well.
All right, cool.
So,
See, the thing
Go on.
is, swear words for me never made any sense because it's like, why would you invent a word just so you can't say it? Like,
I mean,
if you
it's
took
true.
No,
shit,
it's-
for example.
Yeah, but scientifically, there's a reason for it. It helps a lot with venting and
I guess,
stuff.
but like,
scientifically
if you're not
proven.
supposed to say it, then everyone hates you for saying it. It's like, what's really the point? For example, like shit, it has the same meaning as like feces or poo or something, but we can't say that one word in particular. They mean the same thing, but no, that one, that's the bad one. It just doesn't
Let's
make any
get
sense to me.
let's get EK's views on it. Actually, I want to hear because go on, EK.
Alright, cool. Now you see this word, yeah. Now, for what I know, from my perspective, what I know of the word nigger is that it was used as an insult. And up until this day, it can still be used as an insult. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, some people, they're like, alright, cool. I think because obviously it was aimed towards black people, only black people should say it. But then, yeah, if it's another race, yeah, there's an issue in it. So that's why some people, they may feel like, oh, yeah, only black people should say it. And that if like, for example, a white person said it, then yeah, it'll be an issue in it. But then it's like, it's in the case of like, it can be used in different interpretations. So like, as he said, I don't know who said, but someone did mention it as a greeting, innit? So
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
it can be used in different interpretations and stuff. It's like, I think from when it first began, it was mainly used as
right.
an insult, innit?
But
So
you know
that's
the positive interpretations, right?
Yeah.
Like a greeting and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Would you?
Like,
would
what's
you?
up, my N-word?
Yeah. Would you allow like all races to say that then?
I mean, actually, you know what? Yeah, if I'm actually gonna be honest, yeah, like if you know the person really well, then yeah, I think all races should be fine with just saying it as a greeting. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like, for me-
strangers can't say it, but if you know them, they can say it.
Yeah, I think that's how most people view it as. Like, if you know them really well, but they're a different race, then yeah, it could be fine in it, because you never know like how a stranger may say it to you, like what interpretation, because they're a stranger, you don't know who they are in it. Like for example, with you guys, because I'm cool with you guys, I ain't got an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Let's all say it now then. I'm
No,
joking.
I'm not gonna say it. But I actually heavily agree with Richard personally. I think, if it's such a abhorrent word that has been used to subjugate a whole group of people in history, then why would anyone want to say it? Like
Exactly. Why don't you just let it be buried?
I heard the argument by one of Anil's friends actually a while ago. I won't say the name, but basically it was that that black people want to reclaim the word, right? As like make it positive, like how gays want to reclaim the F word, right?
Yeah.
I won't say any of these words because it's probably not best, but I feel like there's a different kind of stigma attached to the N word that no other word has. It's almost
The
like
thing is,
it's a privilege almost to say it, which I feel like is racist because you've basically just impeded on free speech on the basis of race. Isn't that racist in itself? Like,
it is, and the entire argument of reclaiming is just dumb. Because why would you want to reclaim something that gave you harm? That's like me
Yeah.
saying I want to reclaim a virus because it's like, yes, I want this.
I
I have the right
want to
for it.
do that.
reclaims coronavirus after it goes
That's
away.
not due to recent times.
Yeah, but
Right.
that's basically it. Does anyone else have like any like outside the box views on this subject? By the way,
I've got another view. Personally, I just think that the word in itself, it's based. It's mostly of context. If you're saying it with intent to insult someone
Yes.
and such, then yeah, it's banned. But if it's like a greeting, then who should care?
That's exactly what I
Yeah,
think, because
but
and that applies to all races in my opinion, because I hate it when people step on these cultural landmines by accident. Like I was watching a Japanese person, they said the N-word because they didn't know what it meant, and everyone started hating
Right.
them, and it's like, why would you, like, they don't know,
Yeah.
they clearly don't know better, so why would you say it? And also the thing is, it's become such a huge part of black culture now to say the N-word. It's like, wherever you go, it's like, what's up my N-word?
that's true.
What's happening here?
That is very
And it's
true.
like, I'm like,
Ibrahim,
if this word is so bad, why would you want to become what it is?
Yeah, Ibrahim, what subjects are we going through today, by the way? Like, what
Racist stuff in
topics?
general. So we've got the N-word, what we're talking about right
Yeah.
now, the race problems with black people. We're talking about stories of past racism issues. If no one has one, I have one, but I'm sure most people will have one. And then the implication of Black Lives Matter. And then if there's any more things, then yeah.
So I wanted to basically say one last thing about this thing. You know how there's a word called reverse racism?
Oh yeah.
Right? Has everyone heard that word before, by the way?
Can you define
Yeah,
it
I've
for the
heard
people who
about
don't
that,
know on the
Yeah.
video?
It's basically when someone can be racist to a white person, and I feel like that makes no sense. Isn't
That's not
racism
reverse, that's just racism.
That's just racism? Yeah, it's not reverse racism. It's just it's basically a prejudice against a different race. But I also say, how we brought up the subject of movies, right, and films and stuff. I also see that there's a lot of when people are watching like a horror film, for instance, and someone does something really stupid and they happen to be white, right? I've seen a lot of videos. I'm not saying that all black people do this, okay? Because I just want to make that. But I've heard a lot of, and even Asians do it as well. Like every other race besides white people do it, which is that if someone does something stupid in a movie, like run upstairs instead of going outside the door, they'll just say, that's only white people do that, right?
Oh yeah,
We've
I've
all
seen
heard that.
a lot.
Oh man, white people. Yeah, that's a white person thing to do. So stupid, right? But if we switched it and a white person said that's a black person thing to do, can you imagine the amount of
It's so
uproar?
much worse.
Can you imagine the amount of like backlash that person would get for saying that?
A lot of we're gonna go on to that as well. A lot of the things, if you swap the gender and the race of whatever's happening, you get completely different results, and it's fascinating, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
One of the biggest examples I can give of this is a while ago. This was a long time ago. A white guy ran to a mosque, and he started running Muslims over, right? And that white man was called mentally unstable. But if it was a black person, he would have been called racist. And because it's the mentally unstable card and not the racist card, it's a different story. And by the
Oh,
way,
yeah.
I'm not just saying, oh, he would have been if it was black. That happened in a different case, and he was called racist there. It's like these things exist, and it's just a shame because if you swap race, like it's racism isn't about making one group better than the other. It's about equality, but you don't see equality really. It's just more people backpedaling on, oh, well, the black people were suffered so much this time, so now it's infinitely worse for them now, instead of it making it, let's make everyone even. It's just, let's make black people's lives a lot better. Like, which is good, but it's a bit,
And it means that today's white generation suffer because of something that they had no control over in the past.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that that's really sad. It's really sad.
What I feel like should happen is just a complete reset, basically. No one calls anyone that word in general. That way, nothing. Yeah, the entire thing was an atrocity in itself. It shouldn't fucking happen again. And my language.
So,
It's-
Roger, do you have anything else to say, by the way? Like,
I can't believe they actually still talk about racism to this day. Like, come on, this is old news. Like back in literally hundreds of years ago, and we still haven't figured out the answer to racism. Like, this should have ended like a very long time ago. Still going on about this. This is ridiculous. Like, I feel like I've lost hope in humanity right now.
To be fair,
it's so illogical too.
To be fair, it's a thing that's gone on for a long time. For example, Crusaders, how they went up against Muslims and that sort of thing.
well, I don't want to impede on this, by the way, because that might be a topic for a later
That
discussion,
might be a
right?
different
For
topic. History.
for history. Yeah, the history of racism.
Yeah.
We don't want to impede on that, but
History-wise, it's happened all the time, and it's always been something that's looked down on now. But in the past, it wasn't looked down on. There's multiple instances where it wasn't looked down on. Hitler had support, for example.
yeah, but Richard, let's talk about this in the later.
People weren't
topic,
knowledgeable at the
well.
time, but we'll talk about that after we get to
Yeah.
that point. Another
Should
thing I
we-
don't really get is why the N word is so used as a greeting. Like, no other race has a word. Like, I don't go up to my Muslim friends and say, "Yo, what up, my terrorist?" or "Yo, what up?"
right.
There's so many, like, we don't do it. Like, no other race does it. So I don't see the need for it really
All right.
as a thing.
Does anyone have anything else to say, by the way, before we move on to the next topic? Maybe.
Does anyone have any disagreements? Because we've all been saying the same, like, similar.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone disagrees. I just want to say,
Honestly, we've all got very similar views on this. It's just variation in how it goes about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at the
I'm
same
sure we're
time,
gonna get some hate for this stuff.
yeah, of course.
It's
But at
just
the
how
same
it is.
time, I can understand how a lot of black people feel about this, because it does seem, and I can't really talk about this because I don't really know, because I haven't experienced it myself, but there does seem to be systemic racism around the world. Like you look at the ratios of black people and white people in prison, and even though the number of black people altogether are much lower, it seems that they represent a much larger portion of people that are incarcerated. And I feel like some people would look at that and say that's clearly not fair. I mean, it doesn't make sense mathematically for that to happen, and it's it's almost like they want to take back as much as they possibly can. And I feel like they have the right to, because of how much black people have suffered in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish,
So-
like, instead of revenge being the motive, it would be more like, okay, or redemption rather. It would be more like, okay, this has happened. Let's forget about it. It's kind of like World War II. Like, everyone was like, okay, remember this incident, so something so tragic doesn't happen again, and everyone just moved on from it. Like, it's not something that should be brought up more and more.
Yeah.
And it's also something that, like, no race is immune to be racist or be racism. Like, I'm a Muslim, and I can easily say that Saudi Arabia is a really racist country because to people who aren't Muslims. Like, no race is safe. Zero.
Right. Does anyone have any closing things to say before we move on to the next topic, by the way?
Oh yeah, don't feel free to take your time on this as well. If we have gaps, we can edit it out, or if we go over time, it's completely fine. Like, there's no problem.
Next topic, by the way?
Next topic is the black word, like other race problems with like that kind of stuff. So, for example, where like the line is drawn between what's racist and what's not, and I've got an example of that.
Oh, right. Okay, that's going to be interesting.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me give you the example, because it feels like we're all done here. Do you guys think the statement "they all look the same to me, all white people look the same to me" is that racist or?
the same looking.
What was that, Sarah Brush?
I don't think they all look the same. They all look different.
Oh, I should have prepared this, but
I don't know where that.
Whoa,
If-
Sarah Brush, man.
Mind or what?
Yeah.
if I pulled up an Irishman, all white by the way, an Irishman, a British person, and some other country, right? Would you be able to tell the difference
From their facial features, of
from their
course.
face?
Yeah.
From their face.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
facial
One is
features.
Irish and one.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
but
what defining traits would each have though?
their skin color isn't the only thing that makes them different, though. Do you know what I mean?
You've
If
got to
you
look
had-
at
Yeah.
you've got to look at multiple different aspects. Personality. There's other things about their appearance. There's even hair color, for example.
Yeah, but the statement
Yeah.
is they all look the same to me. That's the
All
statement. So it's appearance. And if you put a white person from different countries, they do look alike. White Asian people look alike, black people look alike. We all look the same. So we look similar really. So I don't find it racist, but that is such a racist term.
If you
If-
think about it, we're all
I think
related
I
to
think
one
it-
another. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously,
And it's not a bad
genetically.
thing that we look alike either. Like it's not.
Yeah, I know, but to say, but what makes it bad? There is one word that makes it bad, though, in that sentence. And that is the fact that you had to specify what race it is. Oh,
That's the thing, like-
all white people. If you said all people look the same to me, fair enough, because all people relatively are all people, right? That's just a fact.
Not,
Yeah.
not really.
But to say all white people look the same is a bit dodgy, I'm not gonna lie, because it sounds like you're specifically talking about white people. You know what I mean?
Let me give another example that you guys might get a little bit more. If you put me and Salad together, we're both Asians, right?
Hello.
Would
Yeah.
you be able to tell which one is Indian and which one's Pakistani?
Ooh,
Me personally,
Everyone, like is it everyone?
I mean,
I would
Without knowing
I
us,
would be
would you
able
not?
to, yeah.
I
I would be
wouldn't-
able to, yeah.
personally, I wouldn't base it off of appearance. I'd actually have to ask you first. But that's not because
Yeah,
you
so
look
the
similar.
look-
You
look
look
the same to
completely
me is, yeah.
different. You look completely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, yeah.
but There's no way
Mhm.
to actually confirm where you're from without asking.
Because we look similar. It's not
No,
that
no,
we
no,
think
I-
on a looking
No, it's not because
perspective.
you look similar. It's because there is no visible way of confirming where you're from. For example,
Yeah, because-
Because we look
I could
similar.
say I'm from bloody New Zealand or something, and you wouldn't have known that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
some
can
stuff.
remember.
The race point is
Yeah.
where it's at because that's why it's brought up because of race. Because
No,
if you're brown, you don't know where you're from, and that's why you look similar. It's from that like logic, basically.
Actually, to be honest, Ibrahim, yeah, the average Pakistani and the average Indian, I would be able to tell the difference.
I
Because
mean, you are
Pakistanis.
Indian. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know, but Pakistanis tend to be lighter in skin color, and they tend to have browner hair and browner eyes, and they're
Well, you should meet
basically.
some of my Pakistani friends, mate. We've
yeah,
got some
yeah,
dark
but
skinned.
that's what I'm saying. On average, they tend to be like that, more, different in those sort of way. So if you're really versed in how Asians look, I guess so. But like,
I'm glad that we're actually disagreeing this time because that would make this a lot more interesting. I'm glad
yeah,
that we actually are
Everything that
disagreeing.
Richard said is actually true. Like, I agree with what Richard said. About there's no visible way to know like where someone's from.
I completely disagree with not completely, but I do have some points of contention against Ibrahim's views on police brutality. So
Oh yeah, no, that's
Okay.
coming too. Don't worry.
that's
Yeah,
coming.
Black
Yeah,
Lives Matter is on its way. Don't worry.
yeah.
I want to ask you guys: do you find that offensive though? That's also the point. Do you find it offensive?
Not personally, because I'm not white.
No, just if I said all brown people look the same, it applies to every race. There's no one.
Oh, right.
All black people look the same. All Asian people look the all that. It doesn't matter. Just do you
I
find
would-
it offensive?
I wouldn't go as far as to say that is blatantly racist, but I would say that is a very iffy statement to make. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
bit.
So in my opinion, what's so offensive about it? Like, how is that? Like, it's not even an insult.
Well, let me ask Richard, because Richard's white. Richard,
It's all racist.
if I said that all white people, and I specifically said all white people look the same, would you find that racist?
Technically, I would take offense to that because literally, look at the spectrum. Everyone is different because of the fact that there's appearance factors, there's personality factors. There's so many different factors you have to bear in mind. There is no reason for you to say they all look the same because
No, that's not the point. The point is, you might not agree with the view, but do you find it offensive that they
yeah,
think?
I would take offense to it. Yeah.
See, I agree with what they because honestly, if you put a few Asians together, I wouldn't tell who's from who. Honestly, so I'm fine with that opinion. But I don't.
No,
find
but they
it
don't.
offensive.
They don't look the same. Though that's not the difference between where you're from and what you look like is different.
Same.
See, it's more of a. I feel like it's a bit like I don't know if you guys understand completely, but it basically means that the brown people, if you put brown people together, because they look similar, well, obviously not the same. No one looks the same, but if you put people similar, then it's very difficult to tell them apart because they look similar. The same is just a bit of a because it's just easier to say that way.
Do you mean they have
It's a-
similar skin color?
Similar skin color, so you can't tell which one's from where. And like I said, if you put an Indian, Pakistani, like you know it.
So they
most
don't
people
look the
wouldn't be
same
very
then. They
worse.
just but they don't look the same then. They just have the similar skin color.
And
that
you
what you're
can't tell
saying?
where they're from because of it, basically.
Yeah, then that's not racist, then, is it?
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I don't think it's racist, but people find that so racist. It's ridiculous.
No, I would find it a bit annoying if someone kept getting my country wrong all the time.
But if
And
you tell them and clear it up with them, then
Yeah.
you'll be fine. Done.
yeah, sorry, but like I remember in a cafeteria, whenever this is back when I ate meat, right? Whenever I have pork or something, a Muslim next to me would look at me and say, "What?" It would almost be like, "What? How? What? So what do I say in this situation?" You know, like
Say, I don't agree with your opinions.
I don't
Get in a
agree
debate
with it.
them. Get in a debate with them.
I fully did, about 5 of them, like all like, but
Simultaneously,
But-
like a ninja.
But yeah, sorry, bros. Let me ask you actually. Do you think that the statement all like brown people look the same?
To be honest, I don't feel any offense to that, honestly. But
Yeah, but you
I
don't really get offended.
No,
What do
I don't
you?
get offended. Me and Salad are similar. We don't get
Yeah,
offended.
so bro, what do you find offensive then, like around race?
I don't know, to be honest. Well, probably because I personally never experienced racism, but you know what? I personally believe we're all human beings. That's all I believe in. So I don't really believe in race and religion and anything like that. Just believe they're all human. So really, I don't. Racism is just such a stupid, like, thing to talk about. Really, if you ask me, because
I would.
we should figure out the answer by now. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Salad-
but shouldn't we should remember like stuff like
True.
that though, innit?
Remember.
Like what happened in the past. We shouldn't just forget
No,
racism. You know what I
forget
mean?
the racism, but like learn the fact that look, we
See?
all are human. We should learn from our mistakes. Yeah, we're still going on and on.
Sorry,
So
bro.
do you think?
You sound
Yeah,
like
go
such
on.
a Buddhist monk right now, but we all know in
Yeah.
real life you would just get your fists and start banging whoever said
yeah.
that. In real life,
Yeah.
realistically,
Police would be
you're
called.
not this
Police would
calm.
be called. And then
Go on, what were you gonna say?
so yeah, go on, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say something, but I've forgotten it now. Don't know why.
Oh, you
guys,
got
Actually,
guys,
with
I'll ask you
Harvard
one thing.
having-
If you compare me and Freddie Mercury, do you think that you can tell the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first glance, it looks like Freddie Mercury's Indian or something.
At first
Yeah.
Oh,
glance,
he is. Yeah, he is.
Is he actually? Oh my days!
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
We're saying all Indians look alike now.
You wouldn't know, would
You're
you?
trying to say-
You can't unless you knew that fact. It doesn't look like it.
I knew that.
I mean, he
Yeah.
does look like it, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
You wouldn't be
that
that.
as well. I see why I look like him because I'm Indian and I got that same facial features as him.
Yeah, the
so like-
cheekbones
The
and the
sweet
jaw.
mustache.
And the,
Wait,
and
EK. What about EK? EK.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I said all white people look the same, we know Richard finds it offensive, right? But
Yeah.
if I said all white people look the same to you, would you find that offensive?
Say all black people, actually.
No, because I want to ask that later.
Okay.
But I'm asking, would you find that not personally, but would you find it offensive in general?
I actually don't know, to be honest. Like, to me, I actually don't know. If I
Okay,
was,
but would your views change if I said all black people look the same?
because obviously I'm not white, innit?
Yeah.
But obviously, I think if someone was like, "Oh, all black people look the same," then it wouldn't be really offensive. It would just be what did you just say? Offensive kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but do you think that's because the statement is offensive, or because of like the history associated with race and black people?
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I think the second bit.
You think it's
obviously-
because like there's been a lot of like racism against black people in history that basically anywhere near the line is considered racist now?
Yeah, especially with this generation as well that we live in. Like,
Yeah,
see
that's the
things like
mentality of
that.
most race.
Guys, man, we're getting into some philosophical stuff here, you know.
Yeah, we are.
This is
Mhm.
We've only
crazy.
got 14 minutes till our goal as well. We're not even
let's
halfway through the list.
I
yeah,
think we should
let's
talk
move
about
on quick. Let's move on actually
I
quick.
think we
I want to
should
get to
talk about
BLM.
Oh my
You know what?
God.
You
Should we do
can
that
say
one
that
next?
because that is literally. Actually, no.
Most
We'll do stories of
controversial
past because I think that's pretty easy. Do any of you have any stories of past racism events?
Yeah, let's move on to BLM after
I
that.
think I do. I kind of do. I don't know. I don't really notice it. I didn't.
I
Really
have
care.
one.
I kind of do, but I don't really care. It didn't offend me in
I
any
don't have
way.
any, by the way.
But this is one time. This is true, by the way. I was like in this this boxing place. It's full of white people. And I was the only Asian there. And me, I'm not gonna try to brag or anything, but you know, I'm a pretty good boxer. You know, so I'll beat the crap out of him. You know, me being the new one there as well. I'll beat the crap out of him. And this guy, you know, he's like, oh, he keeps punching me in the face, but mate, this is a boxing match, man. Of course you're gonna get punched in the face. And one of the ladies who's working there wanted to give me kind of dirty look. I was like, what? This is a boxing place. Of course you're gonna get punched in the face. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. And my dad was like to me, like, look, clearly that's racism. Well, to be honest, I didn't really care about it, but
Did you actually believe that was racism, though?
I don't know. They're all white. They're all white.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of
And
now like,
I was the only
if they
Asian
weren't
there.
all right, would you think it's racism?
I don't know. But then my dad noticed one thing. Like when I was sparring with someone, you know, there was this lady who was taking pictures and everything about us sparring. When she saw me sparring, she didn't take a picture or anything. She only took the white people who were sparring.
All right, wait.
Me, so
To be
So
fair,
Roger.
fair,
So
you
Roger.
were
Yeah, go
a
on,
kid,
go on.
and they to ask permission to take photos of you.
they
They
Oh yeah,
probably
that's
didn't.
true. Yeah,
They
that's
probably
true. Yeah.
didn't want to take pictures of
They
you,
didn't
or didn't want to
ask
have
permission.
ask your parents. So therefore,
They didn't ask. That's the thing. They didn't ask any permission. Didn't ask anyone permission.
I mean, they might have.
Ooh.
They might have before you arrived. You've got to bear that in mind too.
You sign a
so-
consent.
We were the first ones there.
So-
We were the first ones there.
Yeah. I don't have any stories, by the way. So
I have one.
Yeah.
When I was in year 6, I actually accidentally. We were on a school trip, and I accidentally stepped on like this homeless man's blanket. Like I didn't even step on him. I stepped on his blanket by accident, and I said sorry, and he called me a terrorist for it. And I was like, huh?
Oh,
Bear in mind, this is year 6.
Smack
So
his head. I don't care if he's
what?
homeless. Smack his head.
nowadays, I couldn't care less. Honestly, it didn't.
So you
offend
would
me.
find that offensive, then, Sarabad. You do find some things offensive,
Yeah,
then.
Sarabaj would kick his head in if it was him.
No, smack his head in.
Oh my god.
I mean,
See,
that
I don't know how to
I don't
fight,
care
so I
if
would
you're
stay the
homeless.
I mean,
fuck out.
that man can't
To be
really
honest-
talk because he's homeless, though.
Oh, guys, relax. We're talking over each other now. Relax.
Yeah.
You guys are allowed to do something and not
I
get any
should
flack
leave
for
that
it.
by
But
now. Slap his
if
head
I
in
was
that
to try and
way.
do anything, then I would get a lot of flack for it.
Yeah, no,
We
that's
just
fine.
on-
We're gonna
on
get onto
social-
that as well.
Yeah, that I agree. Actually, I agree with Richard there. Yeah, I agree.
On implications, we'll get that. Have you? We'll just do one more thing. Have you ever been accused of being racist? But before.
Yes,
I have once.
I said the word Wendigo, and someone took it
Yes.
like I was saying the N word. So
Oh,
what?
that
What?
happens so much.
remember
I
this.
swear
Wait,
to
when
God.
Wendigo is in like the mythical
Wendigo is in the
creature?
mythological creature. Yeah, I was explaining it to them.
What? What?
How does that even get
How
turned
could you
the N word? What?
how could you find that
Oh,
offensive?
I don't know, but they did.
No, that happens
It's
a lot
like-
because of like static. You like hear the wrong thing, but I don't know how
It
Wendigo
wasn't
would do.
over cool. It was in
Wendigo.
real life. It was face to face.
Oh wow! Right.
See, the
I
thing is
feel
for
like-
me.
That's an outlier to me personally, by the way. I feel like that
Yeah,
person was.
I laughed my butt off to that, honestly.
Mm,
How
See,
could
the
you
thing
call
is,
those words together, like,
yeah.
what- it's got a W in, for God's sake.
I feel like they were looking for it or for an excuse on that.
Yeah.
So,
See,
what were you
yeah.
gonna say, Abraham?
The thing is, for me, is my name's Ibrahim and my middle name is Osama. I've got brown skin and I'm a Muslim. So having Osama, being a Muslim and having brown skin, I'm terrified when I go to the airport. Like it's scary, man. Even though honestly, nothing can happen.
I can't lie, yeah, guys. Don't call me racist, please. But don't call me racist.
No
Well,
one's racist.
When
We all
when
know
I
that.
was a while ago, a few years ago, I think I was in year 9 or something, and I was on the tube, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is back then with like loads of spates of terrorist attacks on like Western countries.
Oh.
And so when I was on the tube, right, I saw a guy. I don't know what you call it, Ibrahim. You'll probably know when you have the top B and the white
Oh, he's just a
gown.
religious person, like.
Yeah, but he had So I normally I wouldn't mind that, right? Of course I wouldn't mind that. But he had like a huge duffel bag next to him, and I was trying to look here, but I was like in my head I was thinking we're all gonna die. I'm so shook because I was like,
Oh.
I, I know it sounds horrible, but obviously you read the media and stuff like this, and you hear
No,
news,
no.
and it's become like almost like a little this whole idea that if there's a guy who's wearing traditional Muslim attire and he's got a big duffel bag, then it's obvious, that. And obviously I was young, so. But
Don't
yeah,
go
I was
near a mosque,
genuinely.
please.
I was
When you go to a
yeah,
mosque, right, they're only wearing that attire, and they have bags with like the Quran and all that stuff. The
yeah,
same
but
types of bags.
a big duffel bag though, like one of those sports gym bags.
Yeah, some people it's after school usually, so you have the bags with you anyway.
Yeah. For
And
example,
when I
in
went to mosque, it was
98,
the same clothing. I know what you're talking about, like the
98,
long one,
I
the white one.
had a duffel bag like that. Yeah, I didn't wear religious clothing because I'm not religious, but I had a bag like that, so literally anyone can get their hands on it.
Oh, it's like as a Muslim, you're all right here. I don't find that offensive. No one should. If people find
Yeah.
that offensive, they need to get a grip. Honestly.
Bear in mind the fact this is a formal debate. No
Yeah.
one should get in that.
It's a discussion.
It's a safe space, so anything
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
EK, do you have any stories, by the way, racing stories?
Nope.
All right, then
Seriously?
I say we move swiftly on to the most
Seriously?
important one.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
right.
serious.
Yeah, that's like the first time I've heard, a black person say they don't have any racist stories.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, I know.
Literally.
EK is so big and intimidating that no one goes near him.
That was uncalled for, Ibrahim.
That was
was.
uncalled for.
That's a compliment in my opinion. He's a
I
strong
mean-
guy.
He's too much of a nice guy. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like literally, there's nothing horrible you can say to EK. He's like,
Yeah, he's too
Yeah,
he
no,
could
there's
punch
no-
you,
the
you'd
audience,
still be
the
nice
audience
to him.
doesn't
like-
know. The audience doesn't know. The audience doesn't know. You know what I want to ask? This isn't racist, by the way, but why do so many black people have like the same haircut, where it's like short and like they have like
That's the
no
style,
facial
isn't it?
hair?
I
see that.
had that question, but I think that's biology.
If you think about yeah,
I don't think your hairstyle is biology, mate.
if you think about it, Ibs,
Uh,
what if like all Muslims have beard without mustaches? That's literally the same thing.
I want a beard so bad, like literally.
Yeah,
Even
you've
my
just got
facial
like
hair
4
doesn't grow.
whiskers. You've got about
I've got
four
whiskers.
whiskers.
I've had
of your
whiskers
top
for
lip.
so long.
But
Someday,
yeah,
one day.
isn't that EK? Can you explain that, by the way? Because I might not be correct about it.
Okay, what was the question?
About the hair, about like
Why do all
black people have, yeah,
Similar hairstyles.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the question funny? Like, was it like?
Why do
So
all
you know how
what's
black
it
people have
called?
like the short
hairstyle?
haircut and like no facial hair or anything. So why is that? Like so many have the similar haircuts and stuff.
I don't know. I think it's
Probably
just,
suits them, really.
it's just the way it is.
Personal, it's just
That's what I'm
personal
saying. I think it's biology.
Yeah.
He went to the
I think it's
barber and he was like, "My genes say you can only cut it short."
What's the type of hair called, by the way? I've forgotten what it's called.
The word is racism.
EK, what's it called?
What's what called? High top. Wait, what are you referring to exactly?
Black top. I remember how long.
Why is everyone go quiet?
Because you're asking a question. We're letting
Yeah,
you speak.
exactly.
What was the question?
I thought I was asking. I just asked the question. I thought you were googling it or something. It's like, what's the hair called that black people have? It's not afro, is it?
An afro's really long hair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
nah,
like,
it's
really bushy hair.
Yeah.
Just in
I
terms
mean,
of
there's
like,
likely to be some variation with those.
Yeah,
yeah.
but I feel like that's just part of their biology, Ibrahim. I'm not gonna lie. So
All right, yeah, we'll
Yes,
move
afro.
on then because we've got the really important topic. And
let's
we've
get
got,
to the meat of this debate.
Oh,
we've got 5 minutes, by the way.
Yeah,
okay.
quick.
But we'll
Yeah.
go over time. That's fine.
Yeah,
Implications of Black Lives Matter. So, where basically
All lives matter.
where line
Okay.
is.
Whoa.
So
That was a
first of all, the first thing I want to talk about is
all of them.
the overuse of Black Lives Matter in certain places, where it becomes more of a like the entire message becomes underwhelmed because it's used so
Sorry,
often.
just made a hot
I'll
take.
give you an
by the way,
example.
just like all lives matter.
All
That's a mad one, you know.
End of
That's a mad one.
Yeah, no one agrees with that.
don't care, man.
I
All
strongly
lives
disagree
matter
with that.
apart
Chickens'
from like
lives matter.
the
I think that's what we
big
should talk
premise.
about. Chickens' lives matter. Chickens and cows' lives matter.
Sorry, bro. You know, I agreed with you a while ago about all lives matter, but then I read this post about basically, it's not that all lives don't matter. It's that black people need more help than other races right now in America and places like that. It's like basically saying, it's like saying a house is on fire, right? And the house next to it is
Yeah.
fine, but then you start watering down the house next to it and saying all houses matter. Do you see?
Yeah,
See, the
that's
thing
a
is,
good one.
unfortunately,
That's a good one.
Do you see how that's
unfortunately,
like?
when I say, oh no, no mind, you can go on.
Yeah. Do you see how like it's not saying that both houses it's not like saying basically white people and black people have different metrics of value. It's basically saying right now the current climate is very hostile towards black people right now. So
I mean,
that's why they need a lot of help right now. They
I
need
mean,
movements and
I
stuff.
would harshly disagree there, but
to
okay.
be fair, there was the second biggest, or sorry, the site bigger than Black Lives Matter that was basically supporting the same thing. Guess who it was run by?
Ooh, a white guy?
Completely white Australian guy who ran away with like 500k or something. Money
Ooh,
from it.
Oh,
Oh,
ooh.
that is a there's always going to be
That's a
con men
scary-
though in every movement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
can't
most likely.
exactly say that
You feed off their
everyone
anger.
thinks, or everyone has their priorities, because a lot of the time, some people flock to, they just follow the crowd pretty much.
Yeah.
yeah.
See, when I say overuse, I mean two things. Number one, if you go on Twitter or any social media platform, usually you'll see random Joe number 43 says something remotely racist, and all of a sudden it's trending on Twitter with the Black Lives Matter sign, and it happens so frequently that it's like, oh, another one, another one. When real issues happen, when you say Black Lives Matter, then when it's actually important, then everyone's like, oh, it's another one, another one. It's so
Ooh,
frequent. It's like you can just go on Twitter, like you'll see, oh, XYZ man is getting cancelled for saying this from 5 years ago. Black Lives Matter. Yeah,
Guys, I can't lie yet. We're
Yeah.
sounding extremely right wing on this podcast.
To be fair,
No,
no,
we're
extremely
gonna
right
get
wing.
into the debates.
Okay,
We're bringing up the points right now. That's the
I'm
thing.
centre left, by the way. Just if anyone
I mean,
thinks,
a lot of these historical things have also been changed. For example, the film The Dam Busters, there was a dog called the N-word. That was the actual name of the dog.
Oof.
And that was it in history. And guess what they did? They
What?
completely changed it, and then they just cut the dog completely.
I mean, that's
Alright,
kind of fair.
yeah, that's how
that's
powerful
fair.
that word is.
Yeah,
That's how
fair.
powerful
That's
the
fair enough.
word is.
I feel
I
like
mean,
that's
it's
fair.
not really racist, but fair
But-
enough, I guess.
You've also got to bear in mind the context of the film. It was in a time where that was pretty much normal.
Yeah, that's also true. Historical accuracy.
Yeah,
That is
no,
also true.
it was literally
It's
a
not
film.
naming a dog racist unless you
It was
say
a
you're
black
trying to
and
say
white
all black
film
people
as
are dogs,
well.
which is not true.
Yeah, that actually, I agree with both of those points. Actually, Richard. Wow, that is a.
Yeah, I like how things are going right now. Everyone's giving their opinions
Yeah.
and stuff.
If I
Wait,
if I was the owner, I would have.
Sarabaj.
Yeah.
Sarabaj,
Yeah.
what's your views on BLM, by the way?
All lives matter. Really.
Oh, yeah, he's already said.
So you don't support the BLM movement, then?
I do, but in a way, the fact that why should that exist? Like, we should learn the fact that every lives matter. Like, every single life matters. I don't know why we're still going on about that. Look.
Yeah.
But do you think black people suffer more what's it called persecution than any other race in like America and stuff?
Yeah, true, but we should learn
Mm,
by the fact that look, black people are still humans. Okay, like why are we
One other,
treating them different?
one other thing I'm just going to say you have to bear in mind. A lot of the time, it's also glossed over about other races. For example,
Exactly, I
a
agree with
white
that.
guy gets stabbed by a black guy and nothing's done about it in the news yet. A black guy gets stabbed by a white guy.
Yeah, that's
and
point two I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
It's racism. It's racism
It's just
immediately.
drops the rods for
Immediately.
See,
Yeah.
the thing with I completely disagree that all black people need more help in society, and that's
I agree
why.
that
No,
I agree
no,
that
no.
everyone needs help, not just one specific race.
Oh,
That
Yeah,
is
Not
that
all
sounds
black people.
condescending almost. So now they're like,
Yeah.
for shame, for shame.
What? What did I say?
Black people need more help in society with race, and that's why it's.
I
brought
never
more.
said that though. I said that black people are more persecuted in countries like America.
You said they need more help. That's what you said. Honestly,
That's
my
why I'm
opinion.
disagreeing
Yeah,
with that.
because of
It's not-
the
I'm disagreeing
of
with that. They're
systemic
not
racism,
persecuted
innit?
more. It's just that it's brought up more and made more of a big deal out
Yeah,
of.
in the media,
Nah,
you hear
I
a lot
disagree
more
with that.
about black
Whoa.
racism than any other race.
I
racism.
EK, where are you on that, by the way? Where's your
Okay,
stance about?
shall I say my views then, or
Yeah, go on.
anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Now you see Black Lives Matter, yeah. Now the word is Black Lives Matter. Now, obviously, it's not in the way we were saying, oh yeah, that Black lives are better than all race and than all of the other races' lives. We're just trying to say that we matter as well. That we should be treated equally as every other race. Of course, racism still exists, but we're trying to put out a message that we should matter as well. And this movement, yeah, one of its main aim is to try and maybe not stop once and for all because it's still going to happen, but try and decrease police brutality as well. Because to be honest, yeah, if people were to ask, oh, yeah, what's one of the racist things that happened towards black people? One of the things mentioned is police brutality. Now, there's some couple of stories about police brutality, and to be honest, some of them it ends with a black person dying. To be honest, like even what happened with George Floyd, man. You see, this guy, the guy that killed him, bruv, he put his knee there comfortably, as if like he wasn't gonna get caught or anything.
I actually personally, okay, so I feel like the way the discussion's going is that it's me and EK.
No, I'm in here.
disagreeing.
I've got points. So.
Yeah, me and EK disagreeing with Ibrahim and Richard, right? But
Uh,
I feel like personally for me, I don't think George Floyd was a case of race. I feel like it was just a police officer being an idiot.
didn't he try
Right.
to run away as well?
What,
Like he
George
wasn't
Floyd?
being cooperative. He didn't like get down when they told him to get down. And stuff.
To be fair, they had their reasons, but they didn't. They took it a bit far, in my opinion. They had reason to restrain him, but they took it too far.
I still think it's police officer being an idiot, but because it's a black guy, I think that's why the racism card was pulled straight away.
Maybe not George Floyd. Maybe not George Floyd. That there's other stories as well.
Yeah, there are like teenagers just basically getting shot because, they happen to be in the area or they seemed intimidating, and I feel like that those are genuine stories of people being, attacked. But I feel like it's because there are in poorer areas like the ghetto and stuff like that, Brooklyn, where Queens, where basically there's a concentration of black people in those areas, right? I think we can all agree on that.
The Brooklyn accent is amazing,
right? But that is because some people argue because it's the culture of black people, right? It's just a lot of the music in those areas is about rebellion against authority and stuff like that. But I also exactly. But I also disagree that I also agree that there is a lot of systemic racism that keeps a lot of black people from moving up, in the world. I feel like, and they basically turn to crime and stuff like that. There is an ounce of truth in there as well.
Yeah, do you want to define systemic racism for the audience, just in case?
Systemic racism, for anyone who doesn't know, is essentially racism on a large scale that runs within how a country works. For instance, like the policing system, the laws. Basically, it's ingrained within the country itself, rather than just a comment made about someone's race. It's actually actively being used by the country itself, whether people see it or don't see it. It's basically there constantly.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, honestly, I disagree with police brutality. The thing you mentioned about police brutality and how it's because I think police brutality is a universal issue.
Yeah,
the problem is
a universal issue. It's just glossed over and made a big deal out of just because.
It's not. It should be made a big deal out of. Police brutality is terrible, but it's more glossed over when it's a black person's life on the line compared to when it's any other race. And the thing is, the Black Lives Matter movement shouldn't just be helping black lives get better. It should be evening race in as a whole, making everyone equal. But with the way it's going, it just feels like they're just trying to focus on one race. That's it.
I heard a really funny story about BLM actually, which actually made me quite laugh. So there was a BLM protest going on somewhere in America. I don't know. It was near the Trump Tower, I think.
Yeah.
And basically, obviously, it was beginning to get violent because they were pushing chairs over in restaurants and basically harassing people who were trying to eat in the restaurants. So the police were obviously dispatched, right? And I remember this black police officer. He actually spoke about it later in an interview. He basically said, some of the white protesters, part of the BLM, were basically making fun of my nose, of how big it was.
Wow.
And I actually looked at that and I was like, What? How is this like? How does that even happen at a BLM protest? How are you taking the mick out of a black police officer at his nose? Like, how? How has that
Oh no.
happened?
I
Like,
think
I could
maybe
just
because
imagine. I could just
I-
imagine chaos around everyone, and just the nose is the one
Look,
thing
your
everyone's
nose
fucked.
is weird.
I
Like
think
fires
maybe-
going on in the background and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think maybe because in that perspective, yeah, it could be because of the fact that it's a black police officer and the fact that what's it called? The protests that were happening, in a way, it was kind of against like all like the police and stuff. So maybe it was just from that perspective. Like that's like
What frustration that someone's joining the other side instead of being
Yeah.
part of it.
yeah, that's a
What?
theory.
So you just basically start taking mick out of their race.
Or the nose.
Isn't that sort of?
No,
Yeah,
that-
isn't
I
that
mean,
sort
that-
of like
I mean,
moving
that's
back
just-
on your own
just kind of
ideology?
undoes
That may
your
not be
point.
the actual reason, but
Yeah.
that could be a theory, innit? Like,
Richard, what have you got to say about that, by the way? What have
Sorry,
you got
what
to say
was that?
about that?
Sorry,
The story. So you know how I just mentioned about basically this black police officer was insulted for his large nose by white BLM protesters.
I'm sorry.
It's sort of ironic, but what do you think of it?
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, and because of that, it's kind of humorous in that way. I'm not saying that insulting people is a funny thing or a nice or funny thing to do, but in some cases, it can be extremely funny, and people take the wrong idea from that. For all.
Yeah, it's a shame, honestly. You can't have a perfect.
For example,
protest, I guess.
me and Sammy, we insult each other all the time, but at the end of the day, you think we give a damn?
Yeah, it's the banter at the end of the day.
Yeah,
innit?
exactly. We don't take it personally.
But not at a BLM
Yeah,
protest.
but we know
though,
it's
innit?
straight.
yeah,
That's a serious.
BLM,
Yeah.
it's like, it's
Yeah,
really,
also, one other thing you've got to bear in mind when you're in a serious thing, your body wants to make you laugh more. It wants to relieve it because it makes it kind of stressful for you.
'Cause
For
you're not
example,
supposed to
sitting,
laugh, that's the thing.
yeah, sitting inside of an assembly, Saeed made me laugh, and we were both just laughing the entire
Saeed is a
time.
friend for the audience who don't know. Saeed's just a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he
so
used to be. He's not
we ended
anymore.
up
but he
getting in
used to be.
trouble, and we just couldn't stop laughing, no matter how hard we actually tried to. It was such a serious topic, and because of that, it made it so much more funny.
It's funny how that
Mm.
works as well. I feel
There's
bad
one
for the
It's
poor
a
police.
natural response from our body. We can't exactly help finding that more.
There
humorous.
is
That is true.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
policeman
there
was
is
just
one
doing their
idea.
job. So I don't know.
There is one idea that me and Ibrahim actually agree on, I think,
Uh-huh.
and I want to know what EK thinks. But basically, the whole aura around BLM is that a lot of the black people, not all of them, but a lot of the black people seem to think that they seem to disregard every other race. They make it out like there's only white people and black people, and Asian people. I don't know, they're somewhere in the middle. But let's forget about them. They're not part of the issue. Like what?
Oh,
How have you just disregarded a completely like? There's like a few other races out there that you've just completely disregarded.
with the middle.
What do you think of that, EK? Do you agree with that, or do you think it's not like that in real life?
oh. Okay, so the statement was pretty much that the movement is disregarding the other races.
Yeah.
Not saying. Oof. Oh, okay. So, oh my gosh, I had a voice crack.
Yeah, that made me laugh.
I mean, obviously, in a way, if you think about BLM, Black Lives Matter, yeah, I think in a way we should be thinking about, like, if you're saying Black Lives Matter, I think at the same time we should be thinking that all races, like, should have equality, and we should be evenly the same, treated the same, and know that, you know what I'm saying. I think one, because obviously, considering the fact that black people, if they were to be discriminated, it would be mainly from white people, or from mostly from what we hear. I think that's maybe like where, like, that statement comes in, because to be honest, if black people were discriminated, would it be discriminated by any other races? Like, I'm not sure if it would, but
Yeah, it would. I guarantee you, it would.
I mean, yeah.
In India, oh my gosh, racism. It's not racism. It's like everywhere. I can't lie. It is. Like,
Yeah, no,
there's
even
actually
in like our own countries.
there's a brand of makeup that's designed to make your skin lighter called Fair and Lovely.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not joking. It's actually like but it seemed like it's not like we hate black people. It's more like I feel bad for you that you're darker than me. It's that sort of racism.
Because pale skin is considered like beautiful. I don't see
Yeah,
it.
it's
I don't see it.
because of British what's it called
Colonization.
occupation. Yeah,
All right, I'm a dip. He has to go.
Oh, you have to go.
Yeah.
I've got 2%, so and we should probably try and
Okay. See ya.
close up anyway. We've talked about
Alright.
quite a few things. Honestly, we've covered a lot of stuff. I should say again for the audience, we aren't racist again, so I don't think we
This
are.
is just a free space
Free
where we
space,
talk
no more
freely.
discussions. We won't record anymore before we've posted the ones we have. I think so. We'll try and
right.
like get that done first. But
Gauge the reaction to it.
do you guys have any closing statements? Things you want to say?
Racism is stupid.
Yeah, the best way
but
to the way to cure racism is to forget about racism. I've forgotten whose quote that is.
Morgan Freeman once said, "If you want to stop racism, stop talking about it." He said that.
Yeah.
One time.
But here we
I
are
think-
talking about it.
I think racism has. I think the whole race movement against like black people has followed the same sort of trajectory as feminism. In that, a while ago, it used to be that black people were persecuted horribly, and so were women, right?
Yeah.
But now that people have begun realizing the pendulum has swung heavily the other way now. Now it's okay for black people to be racist towards white people. And now it's okay for women to be sexist against guys because it's accepted that
in the name
it was
of
worse back
in the
then.
name of racism or feminism.
Equality. It's
Yeah.
like we can't find, for some reason,
There's
we're
no
just too
balance.
stupid to find a balance, right? A middle ground. And we almost have to like make revenge for all the past acts. Like, why? Why do you have to do that?
Manspreading, mansplaining. That's a topic for another one. But I'm on
That's a
1%.
completely different box of.
Yeah, I think we've got our next topic, boys.
But EK, what was your last closing comment?
Yep.
Yeah, as in, obviously racism still exists. I mean, if there was the chances of racism to stop once and for all would be, I don't know. I actually don't know, to be honest. But from what I can say is just, it's the generation that we live in. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully in the future, it comes to the point which everyone, making sense to stop it once and for all. You know what I'm
Hopefully
saying?
we'll get there one day.
Yeah.
All right. We've gone over time now, so I think I'll end it here. I want to thank some of these people have left, but I'll just say Richard, Sona, EK, Sabraj, and Anil, who's our recorder man. Thank you all for participating. I really enjoy recording these. This is like the highlight of my week, so I'm glad.
That's good.
That's
We're
a
not
sad
racist,
week then,
again,
isn't it?
people in the comments, we're not racist. Yeah, cool.
No,
And I'll let Salad take it away because I'm on 1%. But if as soon as that's done, Sparkle, you can stop recording. So that's good.
you have to
All
edit
right.
it in.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, everyone. See you later. All right, take it away, Salad.